Welcome to Sweet Tooth Sarah. Today we are going to make easy chicken and wild rice soup. Crockpot chicken and wild rice soup. I'm going to try to do this video without too much editing because I'm not very good at the editing. So what you need is wild rice, which I've already prepared. Now wild rice, this is Minnesota wild rice because I'm from northern Minnesota. So this is very plentiful in our area. You can find it in the grocery store. And so what you do is you take the wild rice that is not cooked and you do a half a cup of wild rice with 2 cups of water. You bake that at 400 degrees for 1 hour, and then it will absorb all the water and the wild rice will look like this. So you need it makes about 2 cups of wild rice. So half a cup or a fourth a cup or half a cup makes 2 cups of cooked wild rice. You also need 1 container of half and half. I just did an Aldi run, so everything I have is from Aldi. This was the wild rice that I used, Minnesota native wild rice. You need real crumbled bacon. I use the prepared kind. You can also fry your own bacon and use a pound of bacon. You need cheese melt, so you can use this one or you can use the name brand. I use Aldi's. This is half the price of in our grocery store. You need 2 cans of potato soup. However, I use this one from Aldi's. It's the Harvest potato soup. This also works really well in my chicken and wild rice soup. This is about $1.99 or something at Aldi's. Otherwise you can use Campbell's potato soup. You need 2 cans of the regular potato soup. And then you need cooked chicken. So I either use a rotisserie chicken. If I am at Walmart or a grocery store, I'll pick up a rotisserie chicken. Otherwise, I have already cooked chicken that I heated up in the microwave per the package instructions, and I will chop this and add it in. So what you do is you take the inside of the crock pot, like this, and you take the wild rice that is already cooked. Remember the wild rice, we did a half a cup of uncooked wild rice, 2 cups of water, 400 degrees in the oven for 1 hour until all of the water is absorbed from the wild rice. Put that in the sink. So we'll do that. We add the chicken. So it's already cut up and ready to go. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. You don't end up with too many dishes, but this either. We'll take the 2 cans of potato soup or the Aldi brand German Harvest potato soup. I don't know how many people have Aldi's in their town, but we save probably half on our grocery bill by going to Aldi's versus our normal grocery store. But we are in rural Minnesota, rural northern Minnesota, and groceries are super expensive to get. So I drive like 45 minutes to Aldi's to load up from that. Okay, so we add the potato soup. It's super easy. We add the bacon pieces. Like I said, you can use these or you can use the ones that are already cooked. I don't do the bits, I do the real pieces because that's actual real bacon. Okay, so then I don't have a written down recipe for this, so I kind of just wing it a little bit. So this is Clancy's cheese melt. Obviously, all these again. So if I can get it out of the package. So what I do is I use about 1/3 of this. The other 1/3 I'm using tomorrow night for the Super Bowl. We're gonna have macho nachos. And then the other 1/3 is stored in the refrigerator for our next video that we do. So I take, you got this huge, ginormous piece of processed cheese, which I know it's processed, but this stuff's good. It's also good in macaroni and cheese. So we'll kind of pull it out like that, a big chunk, that over there. And then I cut it into cubes. So if you can kind of see this. So I've got, so it melts a little bit easier in my crock pot. And I have one of the standing up crock pots. You can do the long rectangle ones too, but this is kind of what I have. And actually I need to replace it because I have a broken lid. So I break it up into smaller chunks. The processed cheese, throw that in here. like that. Okay, and then we stir it all up, and then I will cook this on low in the crock pot for about 2 hours until the cheese is completely melted in here. So now here's the trick. Do not add the half and half yet. The half and half gets added at the end of the recipe, because otherwise you'll scorch it and it'll turn into more of a casserole instead of a soup. So we don't want to do that. So we'll do this. We're going to put it in our handy dandy crock pot, plug it in, and I put it on low. Probably can't see that. Low, 2.5 hours. Put the lid on with my broken lid, but it still works. I do that. 2 hours on low. Then I stir it occasionally, check everything. And then at the end, we will add 3/4 of this container of half and half. And then we'll warm that back up. If it still feels really like thick and soupy, I'll add a little bit more half and half. I have had where I've cooked it maybe a little bit not enough half and half, and it turns out to be more of a casserole. We really don't want a casserole, we want soup. So I guess you could turn it into a casserole if you wanted a casserole. But so this is super easy crock pot chicken and wild rice soup from northern Minnesota. Hope you enjoy it.